Hi everyone! Whether you're watching this video first or last, I thought it would be helpful to give you some tips and best practices on studying for your final exam. So first, you need to be aware of all of the resources provided by the department. So the best thing to do when studying for a final, especially a cumulative final, is stay as native as possible to the department, the course that you can. In a case of a mass final, if the department who's writing that final provides resources, you should always start by inventorying what you have available, because that's going to be the best resource of what the expectation level is, looking at old keys. So let's go over what the department has available to any and everyone in every 2250 class. So the first stop that I would make is the Math 2250 final exam page. There are years and years of old final exams. The finals are provided blank in PDF form, and then just below, they are all provided filled in with their respective solution keys. The solution keys are great for checking your work. Pay attention on the key to how all the different steps that are provided. It really gives you an idea of what justifying your work means, what we expect to see on a problem. And sometimes reading a written key may not be clear other than what the final answer is. So if there were, there's lots of decision making in calculus problems. So if it's not clear to you why a particular move was made or what a decision point was, there are two, just below the PDFs, there are two links to two YouTube playlists, very similar to this one, where I took two of the old finals and I worked them all out problem by problem, just like I did this practice test. So you can see that starts blank. I just describe step by step how to break it down, what I'm doing, what the decisions are. So that's another great resource for you. The old final exams are excellent practice problems. And so what I want to talk to you about now is how to best use those resources. So I kind of would think of studying for your final as sort of in three stages. So the first stage is start by focusing on individual topics and chunk your problems by topic. So what I would do is I would grab about 3 old finals. There's plenty to choose from. And I would do the following. So this is what I did for the practice final. Let me zoom out here so you can see my page here. So I took the practice final, all the problems I just worked out for you, and I went problem by problem, and every time I encountered a category, first problem was limits, I wrote number 1. I also wrote how many parts, because questions like limits and derivatives, if you just write number 1, it looks like there was only 1 limit there. But by writing 6 parts here, it let me know there were 6 limits in this question, right? Then when I got to question 2, it was on asymptotes, so I made a category asymptotes. And so I went through the exam problem by problem, and every time I encountered a new category, I added it to my list. And when I was done, I had this nice handout made for myself. Now, one thing this is really useful for is you can get a concept of how much real estate on each topic of the exam is devoted to each one of these concepts. So when you're focusing by topic, you really want to organize your thoughts first. And so I would go topic by topic and work all the relevant problems on that topic. And this is for 2 reasons. One, it's going to keep you in that same headspace. 2, you're going to get to see the variety of ways they can ask about similar things. So it really will help you grade yourself on your level of understanding of each of these topics. So that would be my first thing. Go topic by topic, and you can take 3 exams and chunk the topics, and then you've got a lot of problems you can work with in each topic until you feel solid. And things like fundamental theorem of calculus, optimization, related rates, a lot of times there's only 1 problem on each exam on that topic. So by pulling 3 exams and starting off by making this page for those 3, you're giving yourself more problems in some of these topics to kind of stay in that same headspace. So once we've gone topic by topic, right? Once you've kind of run through some of these, when you feel like you've kind of gone topic by topic through the course, make a list of what you noticed were the most commonly occurring topics on those 3 finals you selected, and order them from worst to best. So the things you are the least comfortable and have the least amount of confidence down to the things that you feel the most confident about. That's going to prioritize whether or not you need to dig into those things at the top of the list as if you feel like you need some more background info, okay? Now, when you are looking for background info, that could be from if you're in the flip classes and your professor gave you access to the video library that the flip classes have. You might want to go in and look at some of those guided exercises to go, okay, yeah, kind of what was exactly going on here, so you can focus on that topic. But, you know, go and get whatever you feel like you need from your class that will help you kind of get the background to catch up from that. When you feel like you've done a good run through and you're ready to kind of test yourself, I would recommend saving 2 of the old finals and pulling them aside, not using them for practice problems, but using them as legitimate practice exams. The fall and spring 2019 are my recommendation. Those were the last 3-hour finals pre-COVID that we gave. I feel like they're really solid tests. They're really a great example of sort of a cumulative 3-hour final exam. Anything from 2020 up until this semester, the finals were all over the place because of COVID, right? We had in 2020, when we were all at home, we had to have a take-home assignment, and then we went to some 2-hour finals because, so this is the first 3-hour final we've had pre-COVID. So the 2020 to 2022 finals will be great for practice problems on individual topics, but it's not a real indication of what a 3-hour final would look like. So save a test for your practice test. So when you feel good about your initial level 1 kind of pass through all the topics, take a practice final. And then you've got the solution key, grade yourself. And then when you review your grade, right, how well you did, look at your topics list and sort of give yourself a little rating of like, I feel solid about this, I feel not so great about that. And then you may want to backtrack on the things you didn't do so well in. You've got plenty of old finals, go do some more practice problems on the topics you feel not so strongly about. And then you've got, when you feel like you've done about everything you can do, then you can take your second practice test, right? So you want to sort of topic prep, take an exam, see where I'm at. Okay, I need to still work on these things, go back and work on those topics, and then save that remaining practice test for be like, all right, how good do I feel? And when I talk about outside resources, so outside resources could be, you know, it's a very general concept. So before you start going down YouTube rabbit holes or grabbing books, you know, look at what you already have that the department provided. So that could be, like I said, the videos from the video library. If you have the pre-class, it could be a playlist, you know, off of this YouTube channel. It could be some pre-calculus topics you realize you're deficient in. So on the same YouTube channel you're watching this video right now, there are Math 1113 exam reviews. And you can open up the review, you can see the topics on the main page, so you can selectively go in and cherry pick things like logs and exponentials that you're having trouble with and watch just to give yourself a good review of those topics. So there's pre-calculus review video topics for anything and everything that's pre-calculus lacking knowledge that you might have. And then, you know, your professor might do additional office hours, you know, so find out when those are. Make sure you've done some of this prep before you go in so you're not wasting that time. You know, you've got some prepared questions. If your class has a GroupMe or a message board, you know, make sure you're using that as a resource. Read what other people are asking. Some people might have written up a study guide, you know, that you might find helpful. So, you know, that's what I mean by outside resources. Finding a YouTube channel, you know, going into a textbook. I mean, I'm not saying that that's never a good thing to do, but make sure you've exhausted or checked that there's nothing already ready for you that you need within the department before you start seeking that stuff out. All right, and then this is probably the single most important thing that I would say. Try and arrange to have some of your studying time with others. So, you know, try to see if you can, you know, post a message, hey, does anybody want to get together at this location in the library? But talking about math with others, asking your questions out loud, listening to other people's questions, that is way more valuable than I think you realize. I mean, just saying it out loud, but just sitting alone, there's value in that, but you need to have at least some interaction with others. So if you can do office hours, if you're in a situation where maybe you live off campus or, you know, logistically it's not easy, you know, one of the great things we all learned how to do in COVID is We have Zoom. So, you know, even if it's just, hey, if I've set up this Zoom, does anybody want to jump on here with me and let's talk about math and how's your studying going? You know, what resources have you found? That is so incredibly valuable. So, I wish you all great luck. Good luck with all your studying. I hope you found all of this helpful, and I guess see your papers when I get to help grading on grading day.